Welcome to BDJ Daily Torah, a service of B'nai David Judaic Congregation in Los Angeles. Here is Assistant Rabbi David Stein.
So last night we were talking about the core, the oraita biblical obligation of Tiket Shofar, and we said, well, we did some math, and we said that the Gemara understands that the core obligation is to hear 3 truot, Yom Teruah Yelachem, and that each Teruah should be preceded by a Tekiah. So Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah. Then we noted that we seem to not be sure, or at least the Rambam's understanding is we're not sure exactly what a Tekiah is, what it sounds like. Is it two, what we call today Shevarim, or is it the staccato of two? So we got to do both. And so therefore our core of 3 turned into 9, which then turned into 18 with Shevarim-Teruah. And then we saw the opinion that maybe Shevarim-Teruah, the combination of two of them, is what a Teruah is. And so we have another set. This is not another 9, but it's actually another 12, because the Shevarim-Teruah, Tekiah, Shevarim, Tekiah, and Teruah again. Tekiah, Shevarim-Teruah, Tekiah again. Okay. So Robert came over to me, and he said, those first 30 kolot that we saw, which is makes up what, the fulfillment of a biblical obligation, says, I was taught that the Shevarim-Teruah combination, two, he says, I was taught that there's an additional question of whether that should be sounded as one long sound without taking a breath in between. In other words, the thing itself is two, and then the staccato, and that is one blast. Or if they're actually supposed to be done separately, two, and then a pause or a breath, and then the Teruah. So he says, so what I was taught was to hedge even further, and to do them, Robert is right, to do them all in one breath in the first 30, and then in case we don't fulfill it by doing that, in case that's not the right way to do it, then after Musaf, when you do them again, you actually take a breath in between. I said, okay, I never heard that. I thought I'd do my homework. Turns out it's Shulchan Aruch. So this is, it's a machloket between the Ramban and Rabbeinu Tam and several others about whether or not this constitutes one long blast, or if it's actually supposed to be made up of one followed right after the other. And Rabbeinu Tam says, well, you can take a breath in between. And so Shulchan Aruch brings it out. He says, Gimel Shvarim, Sarich la'asotam b'neshima achat. When you do the Shvarim, it's not 3 separate blasts, it's all one breath. Poo, 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 and you don't take a breath in between. Aval, Gimel Shvarim v'Teruah. But when you do the Gimel Shvarim plus the Teruah, Yesh Omrim she'ein tzarich la'asotan b'neshima achad. Some people say you don't have to do them all in one continuous breath, right? And that we shouldn't have a hafsaka, we shouldn't have a pause in between them. V'yesh Omrim, and then there's others who say, she'tzarich la'asotan b'neshima achad. And we have to do them in one long blast. So, says the Shulchan Aruch, v'yarei shamayim, a God-fearing person, yatsa yedei kulam, u'v'tekiot timyushav yaseh b'neshima achat. So, during the first 30, should do them in one breath, and in the Tekir Deruma, the Tekir that we do after Musaf, you should do it bebeis neshimot. You should pause in between. So, we have a God-fearing Baal Tukea. The interesting thing is, the Ramah follows this up immediately. It says, "Minhag pashut." The simple minhag, lasot hakol bebeit neshimot ve'ein lishanot, is that we do it all with 2 breaths. With a breath in between, and the Ramah says we shouldn't change this. Okay. So then the Achronim get to work, and the Aruch HaShulchan says that, in fact, the minhag is to do both. And the Mishnah Berurah here in the Shar Tziyun points out that that also in other Achronim they actually don't mention the Ramah. So so there's other Achronim who kind of left the Ramah out, and so it seems that we have a wonderful mitzvah here that the minhag maybe is not like the Ramah, although Russell Vachik, there's so apparently maybe it was Makpid to say that was really two, but okay. We have a really wonderful minhag here that that Robert and many others, it seems, follows to actually really do both versions of the Shevarim-Teruah in order to make sure we're filling that as well. So yeah, go on.
You've been listening to BDJ Daily Torah, a service of B'nai David Judea Congregation in Los Angeles. To learn more about our synagogue, visit bnaidavid.com.